Hey garden friends, so I'm out here on this beautiful Thursday morning making kokedamas, and one of them is going to be this Graptovaria opalina. And kokedama is, or what it translates to, is moss ball. And this plant styling technique comes from Japan. I learned how to make kokedamas by attending a workshop at Barrels and Branches, which is a plant nursery close by. And who taught it was Kokedama by Carla, and she has an IG account, and I was lucky enough to attend and learn her ways. So I'm just going to get right to it. So what I have here is equal parts of regular potting soil, perlite, and peat moss. And I've mixed it all up with my hands, and I measure it by the handful. And I've made sure to mix it up as best as I can here. And what I'm going to do to this soil mixture is add water to it. So I have my watering can here, and I'm not going to add too much water. That's good for now. I'm going to mix it up a little. Make sure that soil absorbs that water. All right, and it's starting to become the consistency that I want it to. Right now, it's a little bit too crumbly. So it's not like sticking together like I want it to or how it needs to be. So I'm going to add a little more water. I think that should be good. Okay. So it's dripping just a little, but it's holding together. So when you make it into a ball and it actually sticks together where you can kind of do this, then it's the consistency that you want. You don't want it more wet than this, because then it'll be too wet and it'll become like a pool of mud, so you don't want that. So it's okay that it has some moisture coming out when you squeeze it, but just try not to add too much. And what I'm going to do now is grab my plant, my succulent here, and this one has like just the root system. There's no soil. So I'm going to start forming a ball around this stem here. And I'm going to grab the soil mixture in my hand right there and press it with my thumb. And when it becomes like a little mini pancake, a little thick pancake, I'm going to grab it. And I'm just going to start at the neck of the plant and press my little pancake there. And I'm going to shift it to my left hand because I'm right-handed, and this is what's going to keep my left hand is what's going to keep the kokedama like sustained in one place. So I'll just be doing the same thing all the way around, and with my hand I'm going to cup it and just start forming the ball. Sort of the neck with my thumb and press down, because I don't want that bottom leaf to be completely submerged in there, because then it'll just end up rotting and falling off. And now that I've got all the sides covered, just gonna squeeze some excess water there. And you don't want to make these too big. And with my hand, I'm going around and I'm just pressing lightly on it, making sure that those leaves at the base are not completely buried in the soil mixture. And I actually can make this a little bigger. So I'm just gonna make it slightly bigger where I can still hold it in the palm of my hand. This makes the process a lot easier. So I'm just gonna do one more layer. And I'm gonna make this a little thinner. The little pancakes, I'm gonna make them thinner. Pancakes. Just to give you an idea. And as I cup my hand, I work that soil down. And I think that this is a good size. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just mold it and even the ball out on all sides. And while I'm doing that, I'll squeeze the excess moisture. I think that's pretty good. Okay, so it's not too wet and it's a good size ball. And that's basically where the succulent is going to live. It's a little new home. I'm gonna put this to the side. I'm gonna nestle my kokedama here and I'm gonna wipe my hands real fast. Bear with me. So now what I have here is orchid moss. And orchid moss is stringy. So what I've done here is I've soaked it in water. It's been soaking here for maybe 10 minutes. And I've taken it apart. So I've taken apart those strings with my hand, just like as you see here. Just makes it a lot easier when we're forming that layer of moss. This looks pretty good. And so this is the consistency that you want, just crumbly. And if you see any twigs in your orchid moss, you can pull those out. Okay, so this is good. So now I'm going to do the same exact thing that I did with the soil mixture with the moss. I'm going to grab it with my hand. I'm going to squeeze more of that water out. And a flat little moss pancake. Start at the neck. And with your fingers, kind of spread the moss. But try not to make holes, because we're basically trying to cover the soil. So what I'm gonna do, as I did before, I'm gonna switch it over, keep it flat on my left hand and work with my right. Start at the neck, and with my fingers, I spread it out, making sure I'm not making holes. And as you can see, the bottom part is still bare. So I'm working the top only right now. And the last step will be covering the base. This is so relaxing. It's a lot of fun to make kokedamas, especially with like a group of friends. This is a good thing to do as a group. Everyone getting a little dirty together. Okay, so now that I've kinda, as you can see, I've kind of completely covered the top. I'm gonna start working my way down now. So I'm gonna grab my little pancake there that I formed. Start patching it up from the bottom and working my way down with my fingers, just making sure not making holes. Okay, with my left hand, I'm gonna hold the ball. Very relaxing. I love it. And once you make one, oh, you just can't stop after that. You get the Kokedama bug, and all your succulents become Kokedamas. And other plants can be made as Kokedamas. Just look it up. There's a lot of information on them on the web. So I'm practically done here with that midsection there. And I've got this tiny bit right there, so I'm gonna grab, all right, like that much. Press it down with my thumb. And just patch up that bottom part, spreading it out so it can mingle with the rest, because you want it to become one, basically. And now I'm gonna, oops, oh, so the bottom part fell. See, so you have to be so careful. Very gentle with these. Okay, so I'm gonna make sure that doesn't happen again. Grab it from the bottom with my hand, with my left hand, and start forming an even ball all around. And as I'm doing that, I'm squeezing that excess water. And you get a workout, let me tell you. I'm like out of breath. Getting that water out. And then you squeeze. Okay, so that's good. That's pretty good. So I'm going to make sure that that bottom part is nice and flat there. Even it out. Okay, that looks good. That looks good. You're going to try to make it as round as you can. So this is definitely a good size Kokedama. Can still hold it, the palm of my hand. You don't want, you know, to create like a bowling ball. Just be too hard to handle. So I'm gonna move this aside. And now I'm gonna move on to the wrapping part. So I'm just going to nestle it down there and hopefully it won't fall apart. I'll wipe my hands real fast just so I can handle the jute twine. So, like I said, I have this jute twine here. And I'm not going to use much, just this much right here. And I'm going to give myself some slack. All right. So here comes the wrapping part. So with my left hand, I'm going to hold it, grab one end of the string here, and with my left thumb, hold that twine, work my way down, come back up on the other side, go around the neck, and cross over. And that's the pattern that I'm gonna follow. So I'm gonna go cross over, work my way down, come back up the other side, go around the neck, and cross over. And now I'm able to let go of my jute twine because they're holding it down now. And it's gonna be a lot easier to rotate the ball so you can do this. And try the best as possible to just make even rows like this. And you know, the first one will be a little messy, but as you make more and more, you get better and better. And Kokedama by Carla is, she's known for her neat twine. So she does it real tight and very nice and clean. Her Kokedamas are gorgeous. I'm more of a messy twine. So now I've come all the way around, as you can see, and I'm gonna keep on going. The same motion. And she described this motion as rowing a boat. So very good description. And as you can see, I'm forming like natural diamonds as I form layers of the rows here with the jute twine. And as I'm going, I'm squeezing it a little so it can be a little tight. Not too tight though, where you're like, where, you know, the succulent starts to like tighten up from here. Now you want it to be nice and loose from the base here. And as I go, if I see that the rows aren't really like even, I kind of move them around, I shift them around. But what we're trying to do here is hold together that soil and moss so it won't fall out. And right here became super uneven, so I'm going to try and fix that. Form a row. There we go, that's better. All right, so I'm almost done here with my jute twine. And Kokedama by Carla, or Carla I should say, she goes all the way where she covers the moss completely with the twine. But now that I've come to the end here, you see how I formed a little circle down there? So if you're, let me wait for that truck to pass. If you're, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, I lost my train of thought. Wow. So anyways, I think that I was saying you'll form this circle. So yes, that's what I was going to say. If you follow the pattern that I was taught, this is what you'll end up with at the bottom of your Kokedama. But now that I've come to the end here, I'm going to tuck this end under one of them. One of those strings are at the bottom. Loop it under and form a knot. This is a little tricky to do with one hand, but yes, practice makes perfect for sure. I'm gonna form my knot there, try to get it through that loop, make it nice and tight. And that end there, I'm just gonna cut it. Okay. And that's basically it, folks. That's all it takes to make a Kokedama. It's not too bad, right? But what I'm gonna do, I'm going to do a little extra. And put some colorful yarn. So I'm gonna give myself some slack with the yarn. Now I'm gonna do the same exact thing. And to water them, what I do is I grab like a Tupperware, I fill it up halfway, I nestle in my Kokedama, and I let it soak all that water up for about a day. And that's all it takes. That's how I water them. And I have a video on that. So if you look into my IG videos, if you scroll down a bit, you'll see the video on how I water them. It goes a little into depth, or at least you can see what I'm talking about. So I like to add a little color. It makes the, you know, it makes the plant pop out a little more. You can even match it up if you'd like. You know, it just a little more fun. You can add a unique touch. Okay, and I think I'm pretty much done with this part. I'm just going to cover that hole there, and that hole there, and that one there. So I guess I'm not done. Okay, I've come to an end here. Okay. Hope you enjoyed this video. And now you can teach someone else how to make them. Or now you know how to make them and have some fun. Something to do this weekend. And I can't do this one-handed. It's being very difficult. All right. Make my knot. Cut that off. And I'm going to press on it just a bit because I like my kokedamas to sit on their own. I don't necessarily like to hang them because that's how they're displayed. Typically, you hang them up. But anyways, there it goes. Beautiful kokedama. I hope you have a nice day, and until the next video, bye.